Today. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a great day so far. Welcome to Cooped Up Live, should I say. While we're waiting on folks to join, reminding you that coopedup.com is my website. You can visit that at any time. I'm Cooped Up is my handle in all of the social places. I would love a follow, particularly if you are on the Instagrams. And wherever you watch or listen to this, it is broadcast on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and in audio format, rebroadcast on all of the major podcasting platforms. Be sure you click the bell, subscribe button, whatever it is called, so that you get notified that I have posted a new conversation with y'all. If you are watching live, I love comments, so be sure to comment away, and we'll get rolling with that. So as you can see today, my day is all about Whitney. I started the morning listening to Whitney Houston. I will end the night listening to Whitney Houston tonight, one of the greatest artist of all time, one of my super faves. I miss her every day. I will probably be a puddle at the movie tonight. I'll get into that in a moment. But I joke that I cry about Whitney. Whitney's been gone for like 10 years, and I cry at least once a month about that. It's weird. So, yes. Anyway, hey, Mama, good to see you. My mother can attest to my love of Whitney Houston. My sister, if she signs on today, can attest to my love of Whitney Houston. But yeah, so Claire and I, and the kids love her also. One of my very favorite songs is I Want to Dance with Somebody. I love that song so much. It is up there with like an Adele song, a Celine Dion song, all of those. So, but fun fact, I never actually got to see her in concert because she stopped touring really by the time I was old enough to go to concerts and lived here. She's not the type of person that went to the Rio Grande Valley on tour. Whitney was not. So, but tonight, to explain all this Whitney talk, tonight I'm taking Claire to the Dallas sneak peek premiere, whatever you want to call it, of the new Whitney Houston biopic called I'm Your Baby Tonight. It is... I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. It comes out this Friday, by the way, for all of you who did not get a special invite. But I am nervous. My mom loves Whitney too. I know. All of the songs are good. Although, you know what? I don't know that Whitney would, in this day of streaming, like her latest album, I Look to You. I loved that album. I loved her gravelly voice in it. It was probably one of the stronger albums that she's ever had, because here's Whitney's thing. She would produce a CD or a record or whatever you want to call it, cassette tape. I started in the cassette tape days, then moved to CD. My very first CD was actually the Bodyguard soundtrack, which is basically a Whitney Houston album. But she always had albums that had like 3 good songs. The rest were okay, like nothing that you would want to actually like stream. It was like 3 like blockbuster songs. She'd have always have a duet with Bobby Brown, and it was always garbage. Sometimes they were so silly that they were kind of campy fun, but for the most part, garbage. And then she'd just have a bunch of random stuff, and they were only ever like 9 or 10 songs long. They were very short. So then, I'd rather walk across hot coals of my lips than say anything bad about Whitney Houston. But that is, if I had any criticism, that would be it. That I don't think she would be able to cut it right now with. I feel like nowadays you produce an album and every song has to be a blockbuster because you want every song to chart. You want every song to be downloaded and listened to and danced to on TikTok and all of that, right? And, in Whitney, Mom, to your point, you say you love soundtrack albums. I do too. Whitney's later albums, most of them were soundtrack albums. So she had The Preacher's Wife, which I love that album so much. I listened to it just the other day. She had The Bodyguard, which is fantastic. She had Waiting to Exhale was another one. That's a movie I did not like when I saw it in college. I've not rewatched it as an adult, but I've been told that it is actually way better once you are a middle-aged person and you learn life's lessons, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, but I'm nervous about the movie tonight, and here's why. So I believe that Clive Owen was involved in it. He was her big producer, all this stuff. And I think her family has mostly approved of the content in the movie. I listened to the soundtrack the other day. It's all her songs, some of them remixed, reimagined, some of them classic. But I am worried about whether they are going to tell the whole truth, because it is pretty much an open secret that Whitney Houston was at the very least bisexual, that she had a lover named Robin who was her best friend, I think lived with them for a while, all that kind of stuff. And Robin has since come out with a book saying, yep, that's true. And there's been other versions of things about Whitney Houston that say that's true. I really, really, really hope this movie addresses that, like for it to be real. Because I always get nervous when I see movies like this. I still have not seen the Michael Jackson one, because I loved him, even though he's a weirdo. I loved his music. I was a big fan as a kid, not so much now. I still love the music, but like him as a person, I mean, he's dead, but still allegedly dead. But the like, still want it to be truthful, but I also don't want. It's like meeting your heroes or whatever. Like sometimes you get disappointed at the things you learn about them, and so. Like when I learned that Whitney Houston is actually the one who got Bobby Brown into drugs versus everyone thinking he was the bad boy who got her into drugs, and that's been confirmed time and time again, that I was kind of disappointed by that. So we'll see. But I will report back next time I am on, most likely tomorrow, about what I thought, what Claire thought. Maybe I'll have her as a guest. I don't know. We'll see. Claire's kind of not into that super much. But we leave here at 6 because doors open at 6:30 and I want a good ass seat. I do not want front row. I want to be like middle, in the center, all of that. So, but the Whitney Houston movie, I'm Your Baby Tonight. I'll report in how that went. I saw something really funny today. We can hear her now. She's already a good. No, you hear Mason playing his video game outside. You will laugh, you will cry, and she will laugh as usual. Yes, exactly. I am bringing tissues. I'm not gonna lie. I'm bringing tissues already in the car, ready to go, because I'm gonna cry. I bet the opening act comes on and I start crying. Like I'm literally barely holding it together right now. So my voice keeps catching. Different subject. I don't know if y'all have seen this. I'm not a big fan of the Today Show. The only show I think is worse is Good Morning America. I'm a CBS Mornings person, if I watch it at all. It's just, but one thing I do like about the Today Show is like their 9th hour, whatever it is, the Hoda and Jenna hour, whatever they have. I don't even know when it's on. I literally only see the clips on Instagram, and they're very, very prolific on social media. And they do the best clips. I love Hoda Kotb. I think she's wonderful. She's also an adoption advocate, and she just seems to be like a genuinely nice person. And Jenna Bush seems like she's fun. We all knew that she was the fun one since her getting busted at Chewy's when she was in college. But so I guess it was this morning. I saw it earlier today, so I'm assuming it was this morning. They had Jenna Bush's daughter on, and they were just talking about like, are you just like your mommy? And I don't even know how old this girl is. This girl, she seemed to be like 5 or 6. I don't old enough to know better about the things I'm about to tell you, but not old enough to like get in big trouble for them. So she's on, and Hoda asks her something to the effect of, "Are you and your mommy the same?" And she goes, "No, I'm better." Like that was her immediate response. I was like, "Okay." And then it's like, "Tell us something about your mom, or why you're better than your mom." Something like, I don't remember how it came up, but she basically said, "Oh, Hoda said we're best friend. We're some best friends because we're together all the time, all that kind of stuff." The daughter was talking about that as well. And Hoda said one of my favorite things about Jenna is when she laughs so hard that it's just amazing, and she like gasps for air, like she's suffocating, like it's hilarious. And the daughter, whose name is like Gianna, I can't remember her name, something like that, something kind of Italian sounding, I believe. She says, "Oh, well, one time mommy," and this is on live broadcast TV, by the way. One time mommy was in we were in our living room, and she started laughing so hard, she peed her pants. And then, of course, Jenna's like, "Oh my God, like get her off the air." And Hoda is like, "Oh my God, what are we doing?" Everyone's laughing though. And she was like, and then she got up and had to go change clothes. And then we were all laughing even harder, right? So that was funny. Ha ha ha. Who hasn't done that, right? That kind of thing. And I think most women who've had children can speak to the fact that it's a lot easier to pee your pants after you've had children than beforehand. So it's not too much of a shame thing. So Jenna's like, okay, can we get her off? So she's dropping some truth bombs, is what they kept calling. She's dropping some truth bombs. Can we get this kid off the air? And Hoda goes, well, one more thing. Do you have one more nice truth bomb? Like something that's not too bad, but just something like another truth bomb about your mom. The little girl, I kid you not, she says, my mommy doesn't like to wear panties. Doesn't wear underwear. My mommy doesn't wear underwear. And all Jenna's like, oh my God, like covering her face. Hoda is laughing, but it's starting to get uncomfortable at this point. And the little girl goes, what? She's not wearing any right now. And Jenna is like face in her hands, all of that. And then they basically bring out a hook. They're like, okay, we're done. Get her off for anything. And even Hoda's like, yeah, that's a little bit farther than I thought. I was laughing so hard at that. That's the kind of thing I do like about the two of them. So Jenna replaced Kathy Lee Gifford. Kathy Lee, I love the idea of Kathy Lee. It always felt a little too much. It's kind of, I file Kathy Lee under the same thing as like the Jennifer Coolidge thing where it's like a one note sense of humor. It's like a one note like shtick. And it just gets old after a while. There's no layers to it. Jenna, on the other hand, I do not feel that way. Jenna has stories about when she was living in the White House. She's got about stories about when she was like a slut in college. She's got stories about, the only thing she doesn't have stories about is being poor or being non-white. But everything else she's got stories for. She's just like us, y'all. Well, I've never been non-white. Let's just put it that way. All the rest, though. Kathy Lee is like Marie Osmond. Yes. And even Marie Osmond, though, I think sometimes has a little bit of depth to her. I don't know. And Sandy's saying, I like Jenna. Kathy Lee isn't a favorite. I try to like. Same. That is the thing. That is exactly, Sandy. I feel like I'm supposed to like Kathy Lee. And so then I feel bad when I don't like her. I feel the same way about Jennifer Coolidge. I feel like I'm supposed to just like as a gay man, especially a middle-aged gay man, I'm supposed to just like fall over myself and love her and think she's a diva. And I think she's okay. Like, I don't dislike her. I like her as a sidekick in things. I don't think she should carry any show. We're not going to go back to White Lotus 2 because we already had that discussion yesterday. But I do think that like she is like Wanda Sykes in a different skin. Wanda Sykes is fantastic as a sidekick. She has the little punchlines. She gets her line. She hits it right. The timing is perfect. All of that stuff. I don't think I've ever seen anything Wanda Sykes is in as a lead role. She had a TV show for a while. I don't remember what it was called. Probably the Wanda Sykes show. She had a TV show for a while, and it wasn't very good. But then she was she's in Monster-in-Law. She's fantastic in that. She plays kind of the foil to Jane Fonda's character. She was in The New Adventures of Old Christine, which is a fantastic. If you've never seen that sitcom, it's not on the air anymore. It stars Julia Louis-Dreyfus and a bunch of other people, but then Wanda Sykes. And it's a fantastic. If you can stream it and you haven't seen it before, stream it. It's a great show. I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus as well. She has depth, though. She can be funny. She can play lots of different things. So, Aaron is saying, I pray that show doesn't hurt Hoda someday. I think that Hoda has accepted. Hoda used to be a major, like, breaking news, like, maybe a candidate for, Nora O'Donnell's job or whatever, different network, but still, like, David Muir's job on the nightly news, right? Also still different network. I don't know who the NBC one is. Is it still oh God, I can't think of his name. But anyway, so I think Hoda was a serious journalist, and she was put next to Kathy Lee because Kathy Lee, was she originally with somebody else? And then they brought Hoda in. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. But it was when they first introduced that like 47th hour of the morning. But So I think she originally was kind of like a very straight-edged, straight-laced person, all that stuff. I feel like she's like Lester Holt. Yes, thank you, Aaron. That's who is on NBC. But yeah, New Adventures of Old Christine. Eric loves it. It is such a good show. We're gonna need to just rewatch that. We're starting to go back and rewatch some stuff. So, but back to what I was saying, Sandy. I feel like we're supposed to like Kathy Lee Gifford, and there's a lot about her that I'm just like, I'm tolerating it. I'm taking my medicine. I'm not wanting to do this, but yeah, it's like exercising. What else? That wasn't even on my card, y'all. Update on Todd's sister Nina. Still no baby. She is having contractions, but stuff is not moving away. Nothing bad, nothing complicated. She's technically not due until Sunday. But they're not ready to induce, I think. There's something about it that they're having to wait and all of this. And so it's just stressful. I don't think that we are fearful of anything. My understanding is everything is fine. She's already in a hospital room that she's going to deliver the baby in, all that kind of stuff. It's premature to talk about C-section at this point. So just keep her in your prayers, say good thoughts, send whatever your vibes are to Pasadena, California, to Nina Waters, so that she breaks her waters soon and makes me a new gunkle again. So my mom is saying, I think Jennifer Coolidge way over exaggerates every character she plays, maybe because she's aging and feels she's losing her looks. I think she's always been that way, because wasn't she Stifler's mom in The American Pie? And that's like 30 years ago, right? I think that's just, yes, she does overact, and that is her character. And I have no problem with that being your character. It just needs to be a side character. It needs to be Karen Walker. As much as I love Karen Walker from Will and Grace, a show that starred Karen Walker and Jack would be terrible. They cannot carry an entire show all the way. They need to have like the real storylines going, and then they're just like the comedic balance, or the comedic relief, comic relief. That's what it is. So anyway, what is going on the bottom shelf to your right? What are you talking about? There? I think it's just Nessie. Normally you don't see that low. Normally I have it higher, but I wanted Whitney to be in it. And then that's just a box. I've had that box since Germany. I keep like my special treasures in there. And that's not a euphemism for anything. Literally, that box has like a piece of the Berlin Wall in it. It's got a postcard from Kiel, Germany, where I lived. Some other stuff like that. So, are you talking about this though, Monica? All this mess? Yes, it's very. That's kind of where I just kind of throw things, and the kids do too. I think that bag is from like a DISD school fair or something. So, what else on that? That's it. So that's the update on Nina. I'm going to tell you something that I did today. I'm not proud of it. I don't want to do it again. I went to Big Lots today. There's one close to my house. It's an old Minyard grocery store, which were disgusting. Big Lots just made it equally gross. They're nasty. They're just like, I go there because it's close, and they sometimes have the thing I need. And so for Mason, for one of his gifts, I wanted to order a I'm going to talk down a little bit for a second. It's a hot dog toaster. It's a toaster that you put two hot dog wieners in and 2 buns in, and you push it down and it cooks. I think I told you about this a little bit yesterday. Well, I tried to order it on Amazon, and they couldn't get it here in time. They were all back ordered or whatever. I don't know what it was. So I found one on QVC. It said it would be here in time, all of that. And this morning, someone at my office was like, so what did Mason get again? And so I was talking about it. I was like, hey, I haven't gotten an update. So I go log into QVC, and sure enough, it says order delayed, back order. And they were predicting it like February or something like that. And I'm like, fuck. So I just copy the title of the item. It's called like retro something. It's supposed to look like an old school like soda shop thing. So I copy that, paste it into Google, and then Google Shopping. I don't know if you ever use that, but it'll show all of the items at all of the stores that Google does. There's like, it's like a strip at the top, or you can even like click on the link specifically for shopping, and it finds it. When it showed, the first one it showed, it said at Big Lots. And I guess Google knows where I am, and it knows there's one close by, and it says in stock at the Big Lots near you. I'm like, okay, and I could do it for pickup. So I was like, okay, I'll do it for pickup, so that way I don't have to wade through all the poverty or whatever. And that was terrible. It's not even like one. I don't even feel like their deals are that good. It's more, and the experience is like, again, it's like trash. Like not even. I'm not even talking about the people and stuff. I'm talking about just like, it's not clean. It's very like chaotic in there. Like, I will pay more to go to Target for a better user experience, and I realize that is a privileged point of view. That is someone who has money to spend on things like that. Get it. Don't come for me in the comments later if you're watching this on the rebroadcast. I won't answer them. But so I ordered it, and so get this. It was like $10 cheaper at Big Lots. So I contradicting what I just said. It was $10 cheaper at Big Lots than it was on QVC. So I was like, okay. It was probably about the same price as Amazon, but just couldn't get here in time. I ordered it. I got a confirmation it was ready for pickup within like 10 minutes. I was like, I'm there for that. And then I remembered I needed to buy a bunch more like boxes for gifts, like shirt boxes of different sizes, those types of things for gifts. And I was like, I was going to go to Target for that. But Target's on the other side of downtown. It takes 20 minutes to get everywhere in Dallas at the least. Like, even if it's just around the corner, it takes 20 minutes. And so I was like, okay. So I'm going to check if Big Lots has them. Big Lots did have them. And so I did check out, and then I went and picked up my stuff. So, and that will be the last time in quite a while. Monica is chiming in. Big Lots and dollar stores seem to be dirty and unorganized. That's my thing. It's just, and Big Lots was a big mess on the inside. Like, I'm like, where would the boxes be? So I go to the Christmas section, which is naturally, it is where they were, but they were like 6 aisles over on an end cap, not near anything else to do with wrapping or anything like that. Wrapping paper was like 3 aisles over. And so, and Monica's also saying, who knew a wiener warmer would be the gift to give? I'm anxious to try the wiener warmer because, I love a hot dog. I'm just going to say wiener warmer over and over and over again. So, but yeah, so that was my adventure of the day, Big Lots. And then the last thing I have on my card before I let y'all go, if you need anything, want me to chime in on anything, let me know. I've not kept up on the news really today. I'm hoping some Republicans have come out against, maybe not against Trump, but just not backing him up and not chastising the committee, the January 6th committee, because that was a shit show yesterday. Like, I mean, I was there for it. Popcorn. Yeah. Last thing I have on my list, though, is Todd is the Tipper Gore of the Koch household. Maybe even the Anita Bryant or someone like that. I'm going to go with Tipper Gore. Let's stick with that. Who, by the way, I've met before. Not a nice person. Her husband was delightful. She was terrible. I don't know if she was having a bad day or what, but did not enjoy my interaction with her at all. He, on the other hand, was fantastic. And the reason why I'm calling Todd Tipper Gore, Todd is just lately beside himself at the vulgarity in music, and that every song you can't turn the radio on, you can't stream on Spotify, anything like that, without it being some song that's got all the cuss words in it and talk about wet ass pussy and all that kind of stuff, right? Which I'm not going to disagree. There is a lot of that sort of thing going on, right? But he is also mad that Spotify only carries the original explicit lyrics to all of this, or most albums. So if you do an album and it's got an F-bomb in it, or I don't know why I'm saying F-bomb, or it talks about certain things, they don't play the radio edit. They stick to the artist's intent. I appreciate that very much. I think that if an artist recorded a song a certain way, that's the way the artist wanted it recorded, and that's the message they wanted to send, right? Monica's saying, has he heard your mouth? I know. And he even is starting to get on me. He's like, God, the cussing. Cooper Lang, he goes, language. That's what he says. And he gets mad if he even hears the kid. Because the kids sing along to songs, and they think that it's a free pass to say the bad words if there's a song in it, right? And so, and I don't really, they're 13, almost 14. So they'll be 14 in like 2.5 months. So I think that ship has sailed. But so he found so anyway, so he's like, every time he's like, oh my God, why is this song? Does every song have to be about riding dick or twerking or whatever, like that kind of thing, right? And I will tell you that Beyonce's album, Renaissance, is my most listened to album of the year. I love the entire album. I think it is genius. I love the beats. I love the mixes. I love all of it. Like, I think it's so great, but it is a cussy, thoughty, that hoe over there, for those of you who don't know, album. Like, it is dirty. And, but I still love it. It's a really, really good album. Especially track 2 through like 8. It's a very long album too. But so Todd found a playlist on Spotify called, I think it's called like Teen Clean playlist or something like that. And basically it is the cleaned up versions of all of these songs. It's the radio edits effectively, which, and so I'll circle back on that one thought. So it has all of these teen clean versions, right? I just saw your comment, Monica. I'm going to come back to that. Cuff It from Beyonce. Cuff It was one of the songs. And if you're not familiar, you probably know the song. Of course, I'm in the mood to fuck something up. Tonight we're gonna fuck it up. I got some drink in my cup. Yeah. I'm in the mood to fuck something up. Like the F-bomb like 47 times during this song, right? And then it's talking about fucking it up, like getting fucked up, but then also like actually fucking in the song. Like, can I sit on top of you was one of the lines, that sort of thing. I can fuck in a truck. I'm going to bust it up, and busting it has to do with like taking it from the back. Because that's your pussy back there. I don't know if you knew that, but I'm teaching you all the things. Mother, are you listening? Are you taking notes, Mom? But I can't believe I'm talking about this. Actually, I can't. Why do I always pretend? But their version of it is, so they just changed the fuck it up part to roll up. So we're getting rolled up tonight. Take flight. And it's a song. Do you see stars? Da, 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 da. Did you elevate? Did you meet God? I feel like falling in love. It's one that's in all the social media stuff, little dancey dance thing. But anyway, so here's the thing. They just say roll up instead of fuck it up. And the funny thing on that, though, is it doesn't even sound like it's Beyonce singing it. It's like they've injected the word into it. So I'm already laughing at it at this point anyway. And so there's that. But then they don't clean up any of the rest of it. So only the F-bomb gets cleaned up, but none of the rest of the content is rolled up in the same voice. It is allegedly, but it is very obviously like clipped in. And I don't know. Do they play that? I don't listen to the radio. Do they play that song on the radio? And how I would think that as Beyonce, I have to know that I am possibly foregoing radio play if I'm going to make such a raunchy song, because I know that it's mostly going to be streamed and all that stuff. I'm not going to expect Kiss FM to play it. It's all that stuff. I don't listen to any of the radio stations. So y'all tell me, are Beyonce's new songs on the radio, right? Aside from Break My Soul does not have a lot of cuss words in it. And it's just like Against the Haters. But a bunch of the other songs are like very, very sex positive and all that kind of stuff. And so but they didn't clean up any of it. She still says, I want to sit on top of you, which we all know what that means. And I'm going to roll up in a truck. And it's not talking about driving. So made me laugh so hard. And it made me also, and I talk about this all the time, and Monica, you're saying, someone said this is like the Kids Bop version. I have an issue with Kids Bop too. Kids Bop, there are some songs that should not be sung by children, even if you clean up the words. Like the Chainsmokers, Hold Me Closer. Baby, hold me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can't afford to tear the sheets right off the sofa of the mattress that you stole. It's all about sex. Like the whole song's that. Or Jason Derulo's I Want to Be Close to You. I've heard a Kids Bop version of that. That song is a booty call song. Like the entire premise of that song is not appropriate. No song by The Weeknd, and I adore The Weeknd. No song by The Weeknd should be a Kids Bop version either, right? It's about context, not just the words. So, Mom saying we're adults. I know. It's still weird. The cleaned up versions of songs are so corny. And that's if they even clean them up, other than just changing out the cuss words part of it. Aaron is saying, "Baby, it's cold outside." Seems tame compared to WAP. Yep, different time. Still rapey. And then it was recommended that Alan Jackson has a new gospel album. Maybe not new, but has a gospel album. Should go buy that for him. Oh, who was it? My grandmother. Occasionally, so for my grandmother's funeral, which was like 6 years ago, maybe even longer ago than that, probably longer ago than that, she liked, and I can't think of who the artist is, but this one particular artist. And so I was in charge of making the playlist for the funeral. And I brought my little speaker, my little Bluetooth speaker, and we just had this music going beforehand. And those are all still on I still have that Spotify playlist on my Spotify. Or maybe it's Apple Music. I both. I think it's actually Apple Music. But occasionally I'll be listening to it and it comes on and it'll just get into the mix, like some song. And the kids are like, what the hell is that? Like, why are you listening to that? Yeah, Ricky Van Shelton, something like that. She loved that guy. And some of those, and they're all kind of borderline, they're old country / gospel kind of songs. And I'm not intentionally keeping them. I'm not like, oh no, I'm doing it not. And by the way, this is the grandmother I'm talking about right there. The Mamu is what we called her. But I'm not intentionally keeping the songs like as some sort of tribute. It's just I hear them in the car, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta delete those songs, and then I forget. Same with there's this one song called ABC Boogie that Todd's mother likes, and sometimes in my car, it will just start playing my Apple Music instead of something else, and it'll start playing it alphabetically, and that's always the first song, and it's a it's like a bop, kind of like a 50s bop song. And it comes on, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to delete that song. But then I forget. My ADD kicks in, or I just get home or whatever, and I don't do it. So, anyway, I forget where I was going with all that. So, Todd is Tipper Gore. Doesn't like the dirty song lyrics. He's married to one of the most foul-mouthed people in Dallas, at the very least, but doesn't like the bad language. So, speaking of ADD, how are the meds? I am doing fine. They make me sleep really well, and everyone else says that they keep them up at night. I sleep like a dead person. I don't dream very much, or I don't remember my dreams as much. My only complaint about the sleeping part is I sleep so deeply that then I wake up at like 5 a.m. and I am wide awake, but not like insomnia wide awake. I'm wide awake like, okay, well, that was a full night's sleep. Let's get the day on, and I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. The other difference is I'm on one called Quellbree, Quelbree, and it's what Mason's on as well. It's a new non-stimulant version. Most of the previous ones have all been basically medical grade speed. And if you are ADD or ADHD, things that are stimulants actually have an opposite effect, and they calm you down. Like I could drink a soda right before bed and I would be fine, that sort of thing. I could drink caffeine. I don't drink caffeine anymore, but back in the day when I did, I could drink it all day long and it was fine. But those stimulant versions like Adderall, Vyvanse, I can't think. Adderall is probably the most famous one, which there's a shortage of, by the way, right now. They force you to focus. It's like, whoa, like they give you all this energy and you just have to focus it. The non-stimulants don't do that. Instead, the non-stimulants just like cut the noise, like everything around, like you just don't get as distracted by, so you're not, so I don't pick up something and I'm like, oh my God, this is the most interesting thing I've ever seen. Did you read this? I've never seen this before, like that. And that's what Adderall does. It like revs you up. The non-stimulant ones, which is working fine for me, is it gets rid of the something shiny syndrome part of it. Like I'm not as distractible anymore as I used to be. So I actually think I could up my dosage. I've not done that yet. And upping it is just taking 2 pills instead of 1, and it's totally safe to do that. So I may try it at some point, but and they told me I'm free to do that. But one of my team, because everyone who works for me is basically on some sort of Adderall or something, there's an Adderall shortage, and so their doctors are prescribing them different things, and one of them got a prescription, a short-term prescription to Quellbri, the same one I have, just to see how it works. And she was like, it didn't work for me. It didn't force me to be focused. I'm like, that's not what it does. It's not a stimulant. Should have given you Vyvanse, one of the that side of Vyvanse, and Mason was on that before, and I don't want to get on it. And there's a number of other people I know who were on Vyvanse. It causes a lot of like suicidal ideation, negative thoughts, moodiness. Like it's a known side effect that like suicidal ideation is. And we were getting with names, we were getting a lot of, oh, you just don't want me here, or I should just die, you know. And he wasn't like threatening it, but it was a lot of like negative kind of things. And so anyway, Sandy says, I feel like I'm constantly seeing squirrels everywhere. Exactly. I don't get that as much anymore. So you might try it. All right. And I can talk to you offline about that if you want. So, all righty. Well, with that, I'm going to say bye so I can get ready. I'm mostly ready. Is it dandruff? Have I had dandruff on me the whole time? Ugh, damn it. It's probably crumbs, actually. Monica also says the stimulant ones make you angry when you're coming off of it. Mason got hangry really bad on them because they are appetite suppressants. I'm not hating that part of it. But alrighty, well, with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. It's important to know you were loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you so much for allowing me to have my daily therapy with you. And I will try to be here tomorrow. I think I can be here tomorrow. We have a bunch of appointments, but I think that by 4:30 I should be available. And if not, I'll see you the next day. So whenever I see you next for an episode of Cooped Up Live, should I say, love y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.